The silent war of wolves you never see, but one hook. In the wild, not all wars are seen, no battles, no bloodshed in the open, and yet territories are fought for every day, because somewhere beyond what you can see, a silent world is always unfolding. Part 2, World Introduction. Across the vast wilderness of the north, where forests stretch endlessly in snow blankets around for months at a time, life moves differently. Sound travels farther in the cold, tracks remain etched into the earth like memories that refuse to fade. Every movement leaves a trace, every presence can be discovered. There is a world where survival is not just about finding food, but about holding ground. Territory defines everything. It determines where you hunt, where you rest, where your young can grow safely or not at all. Invisible borders divide the land, lines that cannot be seen, but are never ignored, and those who cross them do so at great risk. Because out here, you are never alone. You are always being watched by not by one predator, but by many. Different packs, different strategies, different claims to the same land. All waiting, all listening, all prepared to defend what is theirs. Part 3, Survival Rules. In this frozen world, nothing belongs to chance. Every step taken across the snow means something. Every scent left behind is a message. Because here territory is everything, it is not marked by walls, but by signals only a predator can read. Scents trails etches into the land, stretches cave into tree park. Howls carry for miles through the cold air. Each one says the same thing: this land is taken, and every park knows it. They patrol constantly, moving along invisible borders, reinforcing their claim, watching for anything out of place, because a single intrusion can mean war. Unlike other predators, wolves do not fight alone. They are a unit, a coordinated force where every member has a role. Scouts move ahead, reading the terrain. Hunters track movement across distances few can understand. Leaders decide when to advance and when to avoid conflict. Because not every fight is worth taking. A broken leg, a deep wound means death, even for the strongest. So the war between parks is rarely open, rarely direct. It unfolds in silence. One park pushes, slightly forward. Another responds by tightening its patrol. Tension builds not in moments, but over days, weeks, sometimes longer, until one mistake is made, one boundary crossed, one encounter that cannot be avoided. And when that happens, the silence breaks. Meanwhile, far within one of these claimed territories, a hunt is about to begin. Kalu, Mini Story Block 1. The snow stretches unbroken across the valley, silent until it isn't. A pack of wolves moves through the forest light, their bodies low, breath visible in the freezing air. They do not rust. They do not waste energy. Every step is measured. This is not just a hunt, it is survival. At the front, the alpha female leads. Her eyes scan constantly, reading the land the way others cannot. She's not just searching for prey, she's watching for something else. Because this territory is not as secure as it once was. Behind her, the pack spread out in a loose formation, each member positioned with purpose. Not too close, not too far. A silent system perfected over time. A head movement. A herd of elk grazes in the open, unaware of what approaches from the tree line. The wolves slow even further. Now every second matters. Wind direction, distance, timing. One mistake and the entire hunt collapses. The alpha stops. The pack freezes instantly. Waiting, then a substitute, a signal almost invisible, the hunt begins. The wolves spread wider, circling, applying pressure without being seen. The elk react slowly at first, lifting their heads, sensing something wrong, but not yet understanding it. Too late, the wolves surged forward. The herd exploded into motion, hooves pounding against the frozen ground, snow scattering in every direction. Chaos. But within the chaos, strategy. The wolves are not chasing randomly, they are isolating, forcing separation, breaking the herd apart piece by piece. One elk stumbles just slightly, but in this world, that is enough. The pack redirects instantly. All focus shifts to the weakened target. The distance closest, relentless, coordinated. The elk fight to keep up, lungs burning, legs straining against the deep snow. But the wolves do not tie the same way. They are built for this. Endurance over speed, pressure over time, and slowly, inevitably, the outcome is decided. The elk collapses, the pack surrounds it. The struggle is brief, efficient, necessary. Silence returns to the valley, the wolves feed, but not all of them. One lifts its head, listening, something is wrong. A sound in the distance faint but unmistakable. A howl. Now there's another park, closer than it should be, closer than it's safe. Meanwhile, beyond the ridge that borders this territory, another group is already moving. Kaulu, mini story block 2. Beyond the ridge, the wind carries a different sense, stronger, unfamiliar, and to those who know how to read it, it tells a dangerous story. A second pack moves through the snow, larger, lean, hungry. They do not belong here. This is not their territory, and yet they keep moving forward. At the front, a scared male leads. His coat is worn, marked by past encounters, proof of battles that did not end cleanly. He pauses briefly, lifting his head into the wind. Sand confirmed. Prey, and more importantly, weakness. Because where there is a successful hunt, there is opportunity. Behind him, the park tightens formation, no sound, no wasted movement. They are not hunted out, they are hunted advantage. Step by step, they cross an invisible line, a boundary marked countless times before, but now ignored. This is the movement when where tension becomes conflict. Pack back in the valley, the first pack has already sensed it. The alpha male female lifts her head softly, ears forward, eyes locked toward the ridge. She knows the kill is no longer safe. The pack reacts immediately. Some continue feeding quickly, urgently. Others step away, forming a defensive perimeter. Position shifts. The atmosphere changes. There is no longer a hunt. This is a confrontation waiting to happen. The wind carries the scent stronger now, closer. The second pack appears at the edge of the ridge, dark shapes against the visual, against the white landscape. They stop, watching, calculating. Below them, the first pack stand is round. Between them, the carcass, food, energy, survival, and now a reason to fight. No one moves. Not yet, because both sides understand the same truth. The first to make a mistake may not survive it. The silence stretches, heavy, unstable, waiting for something to break it. But in this kind of world, the first move is never random, and somewhere within the tension, a decision is already being made. Column, midi story block 3. The distance between them is small, but it feels endless. Two parks, two forces, locked in silence. The wind cuts across the valley, carrying scent, tension, and intent. No one moves first because it is not chaos. This is calculation. The, the scarred male steps forward slowly, deliberately, deliberately, not an attack, a statement. His body is tense but controlled, head low, eyes fixed on the opposing park. Behind him, his wolves spread slightly, widening their presence, making themselves appear larger, stronger, a show of force. Across the snow, the alpha female does not retreat. She steps forward as well, matching distance, matching pressure. Her pack shifts behind her, tightening formation, closing gaps, reinforcing unity. No weakness, none can be shown, because weakness invites attack. A low growl breaks the silence, deep, vibrating through the frozen air. It is not meant to start a fight. It is meant to avoid one. A warning, a boundary reasserted without words. The second part responds instantly, not by retreating, but by advancing one step further, closer now, close enough to see breath, close enough to see the smallest movement. The tension sharpens, every muscle coins, every eye locked. This is the moment when decisions became irreversible. One wrong move and everything collapses into violence. A young wolf from the second pack shifts suddenly, too fast, too eager. The reaction is immediate. The alpha female lunges forward with explosive force. She paired, stopping just short of contact. A warning strike, precise, controlled, but clear. The young wolf recoils instantly, retreating behind its pack. Every energy broken, confidence shaken, and just like that, the balance shifts. Because this was never just about numbers, it was about control, discipline, experience. The scarred male pauses, recalculates. He knows now it will not be easy, and easy is the only kind of fight worth taking. The second stretch. Then, slowly, almost imperceptibly, he stepped back, not defeat, not surrender, a decision. His pack follows, one step at a time, maintaining eye contact, maintaining presence, until distance begins to grow again. The confrontation dissolves, without a single bite, without blood, but not without consequence, because territory had been tested, strength has been measured, and next time the outcome may be different. And but in another part of this frozen world, not all encounters end in restraint, not not all wolves walk away. Column Mini Story Block 4. Far from the valley, where no strong leader holds the line, the rules begin to break. A smaller pack moves through a narrow stretch of forest. Fewer numbers, less experience, and tonight They are already at a disadvantage. Hunger has driven them closer to the edges of a territory they do not fully understand. The snow here is disturbed. Tracks crossing over tracks. Too many. Too recent. But it's too late to turn back. Because they are not alone. From the trees, shapes begin to emerge. One, then another, then more. A larger pack. Faster, stronger, prepared. This is not a warning. This is not a test. This is an attack. The smaller pack reacts instantly, scattering slightly, trying to regroup, to find space, to avoid being surrounded. But the terrain works against them, too tight, too enclosed. There is no room to escape. The first collision is sudden, violent, a blur of movement as bodies crash together, teeth snapping, snouts tearing through the silence. No hesitation, no restraint. This is what happens when negotiation fails. One wolf is driven to the ground immediately outnumbered, overwhelmed. It fights back, desperate, relentless, but there are too many, too fast, too coordinated. Nearby, another breaks away, trying to flee, passing through the snow with everything it has left. But the larger pack splits, cutting up escape routes, forcing it back into the chaos. This is not random attractions, this is strategy. Divide, overwhelm, eliminate. The smaller pack begins to collapse. Formation breaks. Communication fails. Survival becomes individual. And in that moment, the outcome is sealed. Within minutes, it is over. The forest falls silent again. Red clouds the cold air. Body still, those who can retreat. Those who cannot remain where they felt. The larger pack does not celebrate. There is no victory cry, no display, because this was never about dominance, only territory, only survival. They move through the area freely, reinforcing their presence, marking, marking, patrolling, claiming what has now become theirs, and just as quickly as it began. The violence disappears into the forest, leaving behind only tracks in the snow and a lesson written in silence. In this world, there is no second chances, but even in a world trumped by strength, not all battles are fought with teeth. Not all victories belong to the strongest pack. Column, mini story block 5. Days pass, but the world does not end. It changes. In another part of the territory, a different pack moves with purpose, not to fight, but to weaken. They travel light, fast, precise. This pack does not seek confrontation, it avoids it. Because it understands something others don't. The stronger enemy does not have to be defeated directly. It can be broken slowly, silently. They begin by watching from a distance, tracking patterns, learning movements when the rival pack hunts, where the rest would pass the use. Every detail becomes a weapon, and then they act. Not in a one moment, but in many small ones. A herd up here, it purrs away from a nun hunting ground, driven further north beyond easy reach. A scent mark is overwritten, confusing boundaries, forcing the rival pack to patrol more, waste energy, lessen their control. Howls echo at unusual times, not to communicate, but to unsettle. To remind the other pack that they are being watched, that they are not alone. At first, the rival pack resists. They adjust their roads, increase patrols, not but slowly fatigue sets in. Hunts become less successful, distances grow longer, energy begins to wane, and in the wild, energy is survival, without it strength fades. Coordination weakens, mistakes appear, small at first, then larger, a missed hunt, a delayed response, a boundary left unchecked. And that is when the other pack moves closer, not crossing, not attacking yet. Just enough to apply pressure because now the balance has shifted, not through violence, but through time, through patience, through strategy. The war continues, but no one sees it. No blood, no fight, only a slow collapse, but cannot be stopped once it begins. But far beyond these territories, a different force is entering the land. One that does not follow any of these rules. Call Ministry Block 6. Far beyond the territories where the rules of sense and silence one defy everything, a different presence enters the land. It does not howl, it does not mark, and it does not belong to any pack. At first, it is distant, a sound that does not feed the forest, a low, constant vibration, unnatural, unfamiliar. The wolves notice it immediately, has lived, ear turn, instinct reacts, but cannot explain. Days later, the signs become clearer. Tracks appear in the snow, not of hooves, not of paws, straight lines, repeated patterns, cutting across territory without hesitation, ignoring boundaries that have existed for generations. Then the forests begin to change. Trees form when none should. Open spaces appear where cover once existed. Paths widen, noise lingers, and with it, the silence disappears. For the wolves, it is something entirely new. Their world depends on signals, scent, sound, distance. But this presence does not follow those signals. It moves unpredictably. It changes the land itself. And worst of all, it cannot be avoided. One night a park approaches a familiar hunting ground, but the prey is gone, driven away, replaced by something else. Light, bright, harsh, cutting through the darkness where shadows once provided cover. The wolves stop at the edge, uncertain. This is not territory they understand, not one they can control. A distant sound echoes again, louder now, closer. A machine moving through the land with no awareness of the boundaries it crosses, no respect for the silent war that has always existed here. The back reaches, not out of fear, but because there is no strategy for this, no pattern to read, no witness to exploit. For the first time, the wolf are not facing another pack. They are facing something that does not play by the rules. And in the world where survival depends on understanding the enemy, this changes everything. Across the wilderness, the silent war continues. But the battlefield is no longer the same. Part 6 Ending. In the end, most of the war is never seen. No battles carved into memory, no victories celebrated, only silence and the constant presence of something unseen. The wolves do not fight for glory, they do not seek conflict, they endure it. Because in this world, territory is life. It's where they hunt, where they raise the young, where they exist or disappear. Across the wilderness, the same story continues. Pack moving along invisible lines, marking, watching, waiting, or howl in the distance, answered. Then silence again, not peace, never peace, only balance. A balance held together by instinct and the constant threat of collapse because the war is not about who is strongest, not entirely. Is it about who understands the land, who reads the signs, who knows when to fight and when to disappear? And sometimes the greatest victory is the fight that never happens. Some parts will rise, others will fall, territory will shift, boundaries will fade and be drawn again. But the war itself will never end because it was never meant to. It exists in every track left in the snow, in every scent carried by the wind, in every moment of silence that feels just a little too heavy. And somewhere beyond what you can see, a pack is moving right now, not hunting prey, not fleeing danger, but watching, listening, waiting for the next move. In a war no one ever sees.